Yeah, it's clear to me that Trump is now, I would call, the maestro of the symphony. Trump is masterful now in not only setting these traps, knowing that the radical leftists are going to take the bait because they're so hysterical and irrational. You can just lay out bait for Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff. Schiff will just jump on it. It's so easy now. But Trump is also good at answering questions now. He knows what to say, what not to say. He's clear. He explains things well, but he doesn't allow himself to be trapped by the attempted traps of the reporters. And all the reporters are trying to do is, of course, find some new way to criticize Trump.
And what's sick is all these people have to do is join Trump. The U.S. is the dominant force. We can promote freedom. They can all get fabulously rich that way. But instead, why do the establishment hate America so much? Well, and they really hate it.
Right, and realize the Democrats now, they have abandoned even any excuse of trying to work for the American people. Their entire goal now is to destroy this country. And
they say it is.
Yeah, yeah. So the Democrats hate this country. You ask why they hate it. Well, because liberty and freedom and Christianity is the antithesis that they believe in.
Because it's like firewalls to their total power.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a citizen that can think for himself or herself, or that can defend himself, is a threat to their authoritarian.
Well, I mean, right? A front door and a citizen that owns a gun. Can you guys cue up the folks in Omaha, Nebraska with the AR-15 and the people all break in, but they've got the AR-15. We'll play that in a second.
Yeah.
But having a door, having a gun, having skills, it's like to a barbarian, to Attila the Hun, I'm sure big castle walls were very, very offensive.
Yeah, well, and keep in mind, the dumbing down, remember we talked about the geoengineering experiment that's funded by Bill Gates would drop calcium carbonate into the atmosphere, but one of the most common contaminants in that is lead. So they're going to rain down lead across all the crops, and all the food crops.
Because they've already been doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but now they're going operational.
They're gonna go full scale into the stratosphere.
Full scale is the word.
Yeah. When they do that, everybody's going to be lead poisoned. We're talking about mass IQ drops and heart disease deaths from lead poisoning, and that's from the Lancet.
And lead causes violence.
Lead causes insanity. It makes kids unable to learn in schools even more. Lead is the toxin to take out humanity, or one of many toxins, I should say. There's also fluoride.
And let's be clear, they got a Nobel Prize for it in '92. They deployed it as a Department of Energy test by '94. That's all declassified, confirming what he wrote 15 years ago, what I wrote 20 years ago, or 20 years ago. It's all confirmed exactly what we said, and now they admit it.
Yeah, and look, they used
to listen, lead. Bill Gates, you're not going to spray lead on me, you little piece of crap.
They used to put lead in gasoline. Remember? Lead in gasoline. And that
crime rates went straight down when they took it out.
Right. When they took it out, because they couldn't do it anymore, it became obvious that lead was mass poisoning everybody. Well, now they found a new way to do it. Bill Gates is bringing back the lead in the calcium carbonate.
Well, you know why the Romans were so warlike is they lined their
aqueducts
with lead.
Yep.
And their wine containers.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a malleable element. It's easy to hammer into shapes for the aqueducts. It's still used in aviation fuel, by the way, for, general aviation. You go fly a Cessna, which I did for a few years. That fuel has got lead in it because it makes the engines run better and not fail while you're flying around in the sky. So there's still lead in aviation fuel to this day.
And notice the environmentalists aren't worried about any of that. It's all carbon dioxide that plants breathe. That's at the lowest level ever recorded in our planet's history.
And by the way, a lot of the food from China is weaponized. It's all irrigated with toxic lead-infused water that is the waste from their factories.
And the Chi-Coms brag they're doing it on purpose.
Yes.
Just like they ship in
fentanyl and all this other crap. It's all weaponized.
And by the way, we're not just being negative here. This is all true. And we're going to stop it together. More at Trump's press conference and a bunch of clips of them saying they're going to kill him. That's right. Democratic Party says they're going to kill the president. We've had this in for 2 weeks. I've been so busy, I haven't talked about it because I've been covering news, but it's very exciting. It's Super Silver Skin Cream. It's got all of these benefits, too many to mention, but it's revolutionary. It's brand new. People are going to love it. Introducing the new Super Silver Skin Cream, exclusively at InfoWarsStore.com. 25% off introductory price. The new Super Silver Skin Cream is the best of both worlds. It helps reduce wrinkles and keep your skin healthy. Super Silver Skin Cream is infused with patented silver sol technology that's used by top hospitals and health clinics to kill off everything everything from MRSA to Candida fungus. It's also loaded with the best natural ingredients for your skin, like coconut oil, vitamin E. Unlike most skin creams, Super Silver Skin Cream is free of BPA, parabens, harsh preservatives, and sulfates. It's got the highly sought-after hyaluronic acid. We have little tubes of it. We have big tubes of it. This stuff is the real deal. Get Super Silver Skin Cream exclusively at InfoWarsStore.com while supplies last. So please check it out. The new products at InfoWarsStore.com, 25% off as an introductory.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
Well, what we've said really sounds insane today, unless you actually read all the documents and all the admissions. And I showed you Henry Kissinger in 1974 saying, let's put, all the toxic waste into the water so people are brain damaged. I mean, I showed it all to you. You can't make this up. So why do you think historically every culture ends up in a decadent cycle building temples, usually pyramids, in ancient Europe, ancient Mesoamerica? Didn't matter if it was the Native Americans or it didn't matter if it was, Druids. They were cutting little kids up to idols. What the hell? Who wants to do that? Where is this coming from? I've never wanted to hurt a child. I've never wanted to my wife's cat. You can feed it 10 times, it begs for food. I'm thinking about that. I actually like the cat, but I want to kill it sometimes, you know what I mean? But I mean, why would you want to do something like that?
There's a story today, a Florida daycare worker allegedly has broken the legs of 4 children. Part of daycare has been arrested in Florida. Think about what kind of person would run a daycare center and just run around breaking the legs of little children. Who would do that? And the answer is the same people that would want to murder those children.
We always hear about the nurses. It's quite common secretly killing kids.
Yes, and sometimes ritualistically. By the way, there's some of this even in the cancer surgery industry where they're doing breast removal, double mastectomies that are medically unnecessary. Why are they into that? Because they're demonic, slicing away the womanhood of the female archetype.
These demons have it's not of the world. They have a hunger to cut men's genitals off and mutilate women.
And the chemical castrations now, the puberty blocking chemicals that are being given to children, I'm going to cover this, by the way, have killed over 6,300 Americans because the drugs are extremely dangerous. They're giving drugs to children who want to be transgenders, the same drugs that the court orders to be given to sex offenders. So now you're treating children like sex offenders and calling
children given sex offender drugs.
Yes, that's what's happening in America.
And again, the first to do this 6,000 years ago, the earliest, well, even before the Qin dynasty, I was reading about it. They would tell the king and his wife, you are royal and can't leave this magic castle. You're so powerful. Also, royalty doesn't feed itself. So to show that, you grow your fingernails out, we wipe your ass, and we bind your feet so you can't walk. You have to be carried. You're so royal. And if it was stylish and a priest came in and told them this, they would then become prisoners that couldn't wipe their butts, couldn't feed themselves, and couldn't walk because it was style. So the Chinese legalists were the first to come up with this 6,000 years ago. Now, I'm telling you, so if it's stylish, well, hell, let me give my daughter or my son drugs that totally mutate them and lower their life expectancy and make them commit suicide. If it's cool, I'll be like Caitlyn Jenner. I'll be cool.
I just wonder how these parents are going to carry this out if they ban knives, because, the parents are trying to cut away their children's genitals in some cases, literally themselves, like a do-it-yourself genital mutilation. That's happened in the U.S. There are these
no, it's a big thing with lesbians adopt a boy.
Yeah.
And then finally.
And they try to modify.
And then finally they just stab them to death.
Exactly.
And they don't know why. And they start, and in the cases, whether it's the U.S. or Brazil,
right,
they go, we don't know why that women scream, we love you, Satan, while they do it.
Yeah.
No one's just, I love you, Satan, Satan, Satan. And then no one, there's no Satan, though. Just all over the world, women are chopping their sons' genitals off and stabbing him and screaming Satan. It's no big deal.
And some people try to chop their own genitals off. Those are called nullos. And in their private apartments or whatever, they'll have a doctor come over to give them some anesthesia, and they will slice off their own reproductive organs so that they don't identify as a gender.
This is like 15 years ago. I get invited to go see some films at South by Southwest, and I forget the name of the film. It was people in Dallas being shot with .357 Magnums through their arms. They love the way the scars look. It was mainly gay men.
Whoa.
And then it was also people down in Mexico who have their arms and legs cut off. They're called nuggets.
I remember that.
And then the man wears a diaper, and they want to be helpless like a baby, and then they have no arms and legs. And then Mexico has it legal. And so there's these communities of folks that have people living in boxes.
Now liberals will say you got
Liberal. I'm sorry, it's liberal.
Right. But
No, it's Hellraiser. People like see something like Hellraiser. He opens a dimension like you're ripping your eyeballs out. I mean, that's what this is. That's all it is. Just stabbing yourself with ice picks. Liberal.
Stephen,
little kids riding horses on big fat men in clown outfits going. I mean, it's just Hellraiser, folks. You don't have to go to hell anymore. Just go to the library.
It's a Stephen King novel. And Stephen King, he's a sicko. And he had this novel called The Dark Tower, where they kidnapped children to use their energy as a weapon against humanity to allow all the evil demons to come in.
They're trying to bring the tower down that's a symbol of God's control to collapse reality.
But I think Stephen King has glimpsed
he's the Red
reality
King.
of evil. Right. He has been, in touch with some dark forces out there. Clearly, he knows what's going on because that's a metaphor for reality. The children have the innocence, the spirit, the connection with God. And that's why the children are being targeted. It's the weaponization of our medical industry, our culture, our language, and science, frankly.
And they all do it, and they all know exactly what they're doing. It's like every blue city is needles, feces, death, disease, bubonic plague. Oh, but then carbon dioxide, they're banning families having fireplaces. And family homes are being banned in the zoning now. And gates on your home are being banned. It's all about just evil, flourishing, bringing down civilization. Let's go back to part of the president's press conference, and you're going to take over here in a moment. Here's more of the president.
But the president of Ukraine at the United Nations the other day, and previous to that, he announced through his spokesperson, said there was absolutely no pressure put on him. There was no quid pro quo at all. And if you look at this whistleblowers, which I have a lot of respect for whistleblowers, but only when they're real. His report of the phone call was totally different than the fact. But what got them was they never thought I was going to release the call, because I don't like doing that. I don't want to do it. I hope I don't have to do it again. Release phone calls to foreign dignitaries, to foreign leaders. I don't want to do that, John. I don't want to do it again. But I did it with the permission of the Ukrainian government. We got permission. We called up their representatives and asked them, would it be okay? Otherwise, I couldn't have done it. And if I wouldn't have done it, I would have been exposed to a lie. Because the whistleblower report, didn't he say 7 or 8 times I said quid pro quo? In other words, you're going to do this or you're not going to get money. Now, in all fairness, Biden said it, and he's on tape. In all fairness, you have at least 4 United States senators, Democrats, that said it, and they said it a lot stronger than even Schiff and his made-up story said it.
Well, that's devastating.
Obama, when he was dealing with the president of Russia, not Putin, he said, hey, tell Vladimir I can do a lot more after the election. You remember that? You didn't make a big deal out of that. Everybody thought, oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that cute?
Isn't that cute?
My talk and my response, Lindsey Graham said, I never knew you were that nice. I can't believe you were that nice. He said that loud and clear. It was perfect. It was perfect. Not a thing wrong with it. To impeach a president over a fraud that was committed by other people that want to win an election in 2020, which they won't, is incredible. This is the greatest hoax. Now, it's gone on for a long time. We had the Mueller collusion delusion, okay? That went on for years. And that's finally done. No collusion, no obstruction, no nothing. It was a joke. And everyone knows it. And it was from the day one. Now, I get 3 days of peace, and I'm walking into the United Nations, going to meet with the biggest leaders.
Trump's 10 times better now. This is crazy.
I'm telling you,
dude, he is.
He knows exactly what's going on, and he's able to explain it with incredible clarity.
And just remember this.
Compare that to Joe Biden, who doesn't know what day it is.
said, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no pressure. And he said it a number of times. Okay, what's your second
By the way, when he
question?
first got in, he was slurring his words and stuff. And the word is he learned they were putting stuff in his food. He has trusted people go out and get food now. And obviously,
And that, yep.
Ask one of the
They've
finished
poisoned his
president.
brother.
Can I come back to you? Because I think you'll want to
We'll
answer.
talk later, sure. Well, it sounds like it might be a good question. Let me see if I like the question. Go ahead.
There's,
Maybe
you know,
for
I
the
get
first time-
embarrassed. Hit pause. You're going to take over now. I get embarrassed how much I like Trump at a spiritual gut level. I think maybe I'm wrong. But now, I mean, no, I love Trump. That's the end of it. Like I love myself and my family and you, Mike, and this crew. I mean, we're good. We care about freedom. And we're not going to be pushed around by a bunch of leftist bullies and scumbags anymore. And listen, only way we get shut down is if you don't support us to spread the word, and you're doing a great job. But listen, we need funds. This big sale's about to end. Store-wide free shipping, double Patriot points, 50% off all the supplements, preparedness goods, InfoWarsStore.com. You need these products. We need the money. If you study other tyrants and other propagandists and other Machiavellian criminals, no one has ever come close to the outrageous lies and fraud and premeditated cultural poisoning that the so-called mainstream media and Hollywood have spewed out. And now they're trying to create a hot civil war because they can't remove President Trump, who's just a nationalist populist who isn't completely evil and actually thinks we should have a successful human culture. You've got Republican governors and members of Congress like Maxine Waters and bipartisan groups and former deputy directors of the CIA saying, we're going to kill Trump. He's guilty of treason. We're going to execute him. This is on MSNBC, CNN, and he needs to be put in solitary confinement, which is a form of torture.